Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. I absolutely hate losing games like that, man. You rather beat us 5-0 or 6-0, but a game where we just miss chances, make poor decisions in the final third. Obviously, the VAR at the end, but a game where we miss a lot of chances like that, and we bottle decisions in the final third. I absolutely hate losing like that. Like that reminds me of the Newcastle game, and even this is actually worse because the Newcastle game we didn't really create a lot. Today we created a bunch of chances. We should have been up like 3-1. Fair play to Aston Villa. They've beaten Man City and Arsenal in the same week. Then they'll know they got away with one today. But all because of us, man. We missed so many chances, and I expected a lot more from Odegaard, obviously, from Saka, from Martinelli. I can't believe like one of our biggest games of the season is when Martinelli and Odegaard have had a shocker like that. Saliba looked all over the place. Even Rice a few times looked a bit all over the place. Literally, the only player who played well today was Havertz and maybe Zinchenko in the second half. For the rest of the team, absolutely disastrous. And I absolutely hate losing games like that because that is a game we should definitely have scored. I can't even believe they won that game 1-0. I can't believe we didn't score. Like we had so many chances to score. We missed so many good opportunities. Our bench is obviously quite short. You don't really have that many players to bring on. Maybe you should have brought in Nelson, just something different because Saka was not performing and Odegaard was not performing. Decision making was all over the place. I absolutely hate losing games like that, man. Aston Villa opened the scoring. They played well in the first 15, 20 minutes. And after that, literally, we dominated the entire game, possession-wise, touches inside their box. I'd like to see the XG for today because I think it should be like 3 goals or something. We should definitely have had like 3 goals. And the missed chances, I absolutely hate losing games like that, man. They rather would have battered us the way they battered Man City and beat us 3-0, I would move on quickly to the next game. But losing like that, absolutely horrific, man. Absolutely disastrous. That's our second loss of the season. We've now lost top spot. Liverpool are now top of the table. We are going to face them in a couple of weeks, Liverpool, and that will be a huge game, man. That will now be a huge game. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm absolutely disgusted by how we lost that. Odegaard, you have to score that, you know. Let me come to a few of your comments and then I'll give you my reaction. I can say it's like volume a bit low, okay? Ali goal is Cass problem. Odegaard missed chance. I really appreciate Havertz that game. Havertz played really well. Nothing but to say about Havertz today. As Dennis says, Odegaard, yes, missed 3 open chances, but Martinelli was quiet too. Yeah, Martinelli decision making was terrible, absolutely terrible. He got in behind that defense like 3 or 4 times, and then decision making poor. I even trusted when he came on, man. So disastrous. When those players, when you see Saliba giving away a corner like that, and you see Martinelli making poor decisions, and you see Saka making poor decisions, you're in a bit of trouble in that game. How many clear-cut chances does Odegaard need to score 1 goal, says Dowd? And what was annoying me even more was the fact that that is usually how he scores the goals. Like that is his bread and butter. That is the kind of chances that he usually scores. That is an easy chance for Odegaard. The first one a bit too obvious. He put it where Martinez was expecting it. The second one, you have to at least put it on target because I'm not sure Martinez would have gotten to that. So absolutely disastrous. Lee says it's the VAR that deserved a draw at least. I don't even think it was a handball. I thought Cash handled it fast, but obviously when the moment they blew the whistle and they went to VAR, I said it's Arsenal. They hate Arteta. They are not going to give us that goal. Like these days, I should just want us to score usual goals because if it's a goal that has a bit of is it a goal? Is it not? They're not going to give us the goal. Forget about it. They're showing the replay right now. We didn't raise up to the occasion, says Dennis. I actually don't think we played badly, completely badly. We dominated the game, but we missed too many chances. Like if we play that game on a different day, Aston Villa would never win it. Like they scored a goal early. Watkins had a couple of chances, and that was it. Like I watched the game against Man City the other day, and I'll compare to our game today. It wasn't the same Aston Villa. I don't know if it was because they're tired or we played better than Man City. I have no idea. But the way they played the other day, if they play like that, they would have created way more chances. So I don't think we didn't turn up. We just the forward players for sure. Saka, Martinelli, even Jesus, I don't think they really turned up. Poor decisions. Aston Villa played the very high line. You're supposed to know how to time it, and the fact that we only got in behind like maybe twice or thrice, and one Saka scored a goal, but it was offside again. He didn't time his run well, and obviously the Martinelli one as well, absolutely terrible. Odegaard is one to blame for that defeat, says Dauda. I'd say yes, probably him and Martinelli as well up front. I don't think they created too many chances to say, wow, Gabriel was terrible or Saliba was terrible or Zinchenko was terrible. And Zinchenko gave away the ball a lot in the first half, but in the second half, he was trying to create a lot of chances. Maybe you should just move him to midfield. Maybe that is what you should do with him. But Aston Villa didn't even create anything at all in the second half, apart from maybe the last 1 minute when you are trying to break forward. Again, I sense something the referees are bringing and punishing Arsenal. They don't like Arteta. I already know that they obviously don't like Arteta. So we have to win the games clean, like fair and square. Like you have to win the games by 3-4 nil, clear cut margin where they can't rob us at all. Missed chances a lot, says Abby. Diego Carlos, dirty player, man, must get a red on the Eddie foul. Martinelli contributed for our loss as well. Yeah, I do agree that as well, Moses. So let's get to the run up and how to approach this game. Unfortunately, we don't really have too many players to play now that I definitely think we need to sign a couple of players in January for sure, especially with the injuries. We definitely need a few players in January because looking at the bench, yes, I've seen a lot of people complaining about Nelson never getting any game time. He should probably get game time in a game like this. I do feel why. I do understand why sometimes I will look at it like, okay, Saka usually comes through for us eventually. So can I really take him off and bring on Nelson? Maybe that is the thought process. But if he's not doing anything, I don't think Jesus was playing well. I don't think Martinelli was playing well. I don't think Saka was playing well. Maybe just give Nelson a chance. You never know. And last season, he came clutch for us in the last few minutes, and he didn't get any game time today. But if you look at the bench, you don't really have a lot to bring on apart from Trossard. And yeah, probably Trossard because a lot of people don't trust Nketiah anyway. So Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Zinchenko, Havertz, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. So I looked at that squad. I felt like that squad was good enough to at least score a goal today. And it should have been that way, but the start that we had to the game was absolutely terrible. Like if you concede fast to them with that crowd after just beating Man City, they are really turned up for this game. Like I saw what Aston Villa fans were saying before this game, they are really ready for this game. They're really pumped up for this game. They wanted an early goal. They wanted the crowd to get on our backs as well. They're just really turned up for this game. So giving them that early goal, absolutely suicidal. And who's to blame for that goal that you conceded? There's a lot. I've just heard Tony Adams talking about it. I think he said something like Zinchenko going to midfield and then breaking to the right side. I think Saliba and Ben White should have communicated better to deal with McGinn. But they didn't, and it turned very easily in our box. And a player turning inside your box and having a shot, that is very bad defending, something that we don't usually say around Saliba, Ben White, and Gabriel a lot. These days, we don't say that a lot these days. But today, allowing the player to turn in your box is quite terrible. And 1-0 inside the first 6 minutes, that's a bad start. That is a terrible start to give them that early goal. But even after that, I don't think they created any other clear-cut chances or dominated us. It felt like Arsenal going to score very soon. It always felt like Arsenal going to score very soon. We were creating a few openings. I mean, we weren't testing the goalkeeper a lot in the first 20 minutes, but we were creating a few openings here and there. We were getting chances, but the decision-making was absolutely terrible. Martinelli got in behind a couple of times, poor decision-making. Odegaard inside the box, that shot, you have Martinez knew you're going to that right side, his right side. So I saw the gap on the left side. That I'm sure, like in that moment, it's very hard to make that quick decision. But for Odegaard's quality in that position, I usually expect him to do much better. Or if you're putting it in that area where Martinez is going to save it easily, you have to put it a bit like, not like on ground, like a bit top corner or something, because he wouldn't have gotten there. And the left side of Martinez was wide open. So I do think that was a poor finish from Odegaard. And on top of that, he took like a whole business day, a whole 5 business days to take that shot. So wasn't happy with that at all. That could easily have been 1-1. Saka also had a shot that was saved. Again, just like Odegaard, Saka as well had a few decision making, like in the box, turning to his left side. I think it's a bit too obvious sometimes when you do it once or twice. The defenders are expecting it, Martinez is expecting it, unless he hit a very powerful shot to the top corner and the goalkeeper cannot save it. Well done. But a few of the shots are very weak from Odegaard and from Saka, and the goalkeeper is expecting those shots, so obviously he's going to save it. He's just been voted the best goalkeeper this year, so obviously that is very easy for him. But even with that said, I still felt very positive because we were creating moves here and there. Aston Villa weren't really getting a lot of chances. Bailey wasn't dominating the way he dominated against Man City. I expected to see Watkins running in behind more, but they didn't actually get any of those chances. It was all Arsenal, like in that first half, especially the last 20 minutes. Odegaard with the shot, Gabriel with a very fantastic pass to Martinelli again. Martinelli, I think that's the time Martinelli chipped Martinez, and I think it could have been onside. It was actually kind of onside, but the finish as well, a bit poor. So with that, Martinelli and Odegaard being the most poor player, like the poorest players in that first half, that is obviously shocking because we expect them to be the ones that are making things happen for us, Martinelli and Odegaard. But for them defensively, apart from the time Saliba gave them a corner, I don't think anyone else did any major mistakes. Maybe Zinchenko once, but they never really got in behind to the point where I felt like, wow, Aston Villa are going to score 2 or 3 goals. Yeah, no, we were the ones who were meant to score. Like, we had so many openings, but the decision making was poor. Jesus as well in the first half had a chance as well, but nothing at all. And basically that was the whole game for us, missing chance after chance after chance. Now the worry is our bench. Now, when players like Jesus and Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli start doing that, yeah, sometimes like Odegaard against Luton, he's going to come with that moment of magic and do something for you in the last minute. That can happen. But even in that Luton game, you could see Odegaard making things happen. So you couldn't really take him off against Luton. Even Saka, he was trying to make things happen in that game. You can't really take him off as well. But in this particular game, when they're missing so many chances and the opportunities are going to be there, you wish to have someone who can come off the bench and change the game. That's why, I'm kind of disappointed with players like Vieira and obviously Smith Rowe getting injured. Because in a situation like this, you just be like, okay, listen, Odegaard today not having a best day. Vieira, we bought you for 42 million. Go on there, you're going to do the same. Maybe score this time. But unfortunately, looking at that bench, you can't really bring on Jorginho. Maybe for the pass, yes. Maybe for the pass, Jorginho can hit a pass like playing against a very high line like that. But in terms of relentless attack, Jorginho is not really going to do that for you. Trossard came on a bit very poor, actually. Trossard came on, he was very poor today. Nketiah as well. I mean, you should do better with a chance like that. Poor as well. Nelson came on too late. But if you look at the rest of the bench, El Neni, Kivio, Cedric, there's no one there who's going to really come and change the game for you. So already I can't wait for January because we definitely need to improve. Our bench at the beginning of the season, our bench looked good, but now with injuries to the players like Timber and Partey, our bench is not looking that strong because if we take out, if one of these players gets an injury, Martinelli, Jesus, or Saka, and then you have to start Trossard on Nketiah, then basically you don't have anyone on the bench at all. And we have a very busy period coming on. Thank goodness we're already through in the Champions League. We can rest everyone against PSV because it's not an easy schedule coming up. You have Liverpool, Brighton, West Ham all coming up. But even with that said, with all the chances we are creating and the openings, I was like, listen, second half, we are definitely going to get a goal. I expect Aston Villa to be a little bit better than they were in the first half, but I expect us to get a few more chances. And we actually did get a few more chances, but the problem is we didn't convert any of them. Havertz was really, really good today. He was winning tackles in midfield. He was driving us forward. He was picking out passes. On a different day, Havertz could have been man of the match with 2 assists. And did he score? Was it Nketiah scored? I don't even know. But with that, with the handball that they said was a handball, he could have had an assist or 2 assists today. I think he was definitely our best player. I think Ray as well today in goal, he did well. He saved 3 or 4 shots from Aston Villa. And I think we handled the corners well because they were kind of targeting us from corners. But that is, I think that is kind of a myth because Arsenal is still the best team in terms of corners in the league. It's just because it has happened once now. We are hearing about it a lot, target try from corners and all that. Hopefully we forget about that now because we dealt with that well today. Trossard came on for Martinelli. Rice got his first yellow card of the season as well. When Declan Rice is getting his first yellow card, that is not going to be a day. And then Nketiah obviously came on for Jesus as well. But Odegaard, the second half, you need to take that. You need to put it on target. The first one, okay, put it on target. Maybe you should have done better with that in terms of not putting it where the goalkeeper is expecting it. But the second half, that chance that Havertz made a very good run, crossed the ball to Odegaard, and he missed it. He put it off target. That is a chance that Odegaard, he never misses that. He always puts it on target. And then obviously from that point on, you expect Aston Villa to, play a bit defensive, bring on the likes of Dendoncker and Ramsey, energy in midfield and all that. And for them, 1-0 is great for them. They've just kept 2 clean sheets in a row against Man City and Arsenal in 4 days. Obviously, that is a good result for them. But for us, missing all those chances, it's not good. And recently, we've been able to score goals. We scored 4 against Luton. We scored 6 against Lens. We scored 5 against Sheffield United. The last 1 month, we've been able to score goals here and there, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 in the Champions League. So we've been able to score goals. Jesus has looked good in the Champions League. He scored recently in the league. Martinelli has started scoring as well. Saka always does something. Odegaard has started scoring as well. But today, the shooting boots are not on at all, especially for Odegaard and Martinelli. Absolutely not good at all. And for Odegaard, it was missing the chances. for Martinelli, it was poor decision making and a bit quiet. And you usually see Martinelli running past a defender. He's usually very confident in terms of running past a defender and taking defenders on, especially Konza. Konza is a centre back who's playing at right back. I expected Martinelli to dominate him more. Like, go after him, test him out. He's played well against Man City the other day. Let's test him this time out, because Man City didn't really have wingers on that day. They didn't have players like Doku, so I wanted us to see Martinelli testing the right back Cons in that game, and Saka on the right side as well. I mean, Saka did have a goal that he scored that was disallowed for offside. I was still hopeful because most of our goals usually come late on. So he actually scored a goal late on. So let me know, do you guys think it was a handball or not? I mean, it looked like it hit his chest. It looked like Cash handled the ball fast. It looked like the referee blew the whistle very early, because I'm sure he's supposed to let that go and then VAR check. And I'm sure if the VAR checks that later on, they will say, okay, we're going to stick with the on-field decision. It's a goal. And unfortunately, I know these days they're going to blow the whistle. I don't even expect to see them. You saw today earlier, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, when Crystal Palace got a penalty, and then later on it was taken away, and because of a foul on I think Endo in midfield. If that was Arsenal, that would not have been a foul. It would have been a penalty for Crystal Palace and probably a red card from Van Dijk if he was playing for Arsenal. But we can't focus on the referees. Maybe it should have been 1-1, but I don't think we should have won, because I don't think the referee cost us a victory. I think they cost us a draw with that decision. What cost us a victory today is missing chances. We missed so many chances, so many poor decisions in the final third. I don't know if it's because they played so many games recently, but that is where now you need someone to bring off the bench, because we had Trossard, and that is basically it. Because usually the previous seasons you'd be like, okay, let's take out Xhaka and bring on a forward player. Xhaka's done his job. Or let's take off this player and bring on this player. These days it's very hard to make a sub, because Saka is going to make something happen, Odegaard is going to make something happen, so they're never usually taken off. And a player that it's usually easy for people to say take him off, Havertz, he's been our best player against Luton, and today as well he's been very, very good, so you can't also take him off. But for today, I don't think Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, and Odegaard deserve to stay on the pitch. But the problem is, can you really take off Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, and Odegaard? Who are you going to bring on? Trossard, Nelson, and then who else? You're still going to need players to come on. And Nketiah came on, didn't do anything at all. So not the best bench. You definitely need to get a couple of players in January, because I don't think at the moment you can depend on Partey and Smith-Rowe, because they're always injured. Unfortunately, we cannot depend on them. We definitely need to get probably 3 players. Are we going to get 3 players in January? Because now I'm also thinking defender, because Tomiyasu is not there in January, and I don't know how far Timber is going to be out for. Because guys, if Saliba is suspended or not available for like 2-3 games, we are so screwed. We are going to have to like play Cedric or something. So we definitely need a defender, and probably even definitely a striker for sure. I've seen the light now. I've definitely seen the light. We are missing so many chances. Not someone to start ahead of Jesus. No, if they can play together well and good, but to rotate as well. In a game like this, I usually think about players like I think about players like Giroud. Even in a game like this where you're losing 20 minutes to go, you just bring on Jesus and you bring on Giroud and you put in crosses, like a player like a Giroud or a Jack or those kind of players. Giroud used to bring him on the last 20 minutes, something different. Even Tony would fit perfectly into that. Just bring on someone, put in those crosses, and you'll get a goal. Because we put in a couple of crosses and have some. And Nketiah scored from one of them later on in the game. But unfortunately, it was disallowed. As always, we don't expect it to stand. They don't like Arteta, so that's the first reason why I'd say is up there, because they don't like him. But the game, in terms of chances, that is what cost us the win, but costing us a draw via decision as always. But you should do better with those chances. The good thing is we are creating chances. There were some games where we aren't really creating a lot of chances, but recently we've started creating a lot of chances and scoring a few goals. Because against Luton, if you look at the last 20 minutes or 30 minutes against Luton, we created so many chances. Havertz should have had like 2 goals on that day. He was playing really well. I guess that is a positive, that we are creating chances, and we gave Aston Villa a game, but ultimately they beat us. And we're going to start hearing that thing of, oh my goodness, we've beaten Man City and Arsenal. We told you guys, if they can beat Man City, they can beat Arsenal. I didn't want to hear that BS, man. And it's because we missed so many chances. So many chances. You have to take your chances to win in the league. Teams like Aston Villa and Newcastle, where you're not going to get too many chances. If you miss them, You're in trouble. The other says that Fallen Havertz was too soft. Tommy says we played better, of course, but the way we took our chances aren't great. Yep. I don't have a problem with the performance. I have a problem with the finishing from and decision making from that front four. Havertz, our player, the best player in the game, and I don't think Aston Villa had too much in terms of let's say our defense did this and did that. No, I think they played really well. They played okay, the defenders. I think Gabriel made like 4 or 5 clearances in that game, got on the headers, cleared the ball well, dealt well with the counter attacks from Aston Villa. So I think the defenders were good. Okay, apart from Saliba mistake and Zinchenko mistake in the first half. I think Zinchenko was very good in the second half. In terms of those passes, Zinchenko was giving very good passes in the second half going forward. I feel like when Timber comes back, Timber is definitely straight into the first team. And maybe eventually we're going to see Zinchenko. I don't agree people saying sell Zinchenko is crap, because I've seen comments like that, like sell Zinchenko is terrible. I don't agree with that. I feel like if you play him in midfield, maybe you should just do that. Just move him to midfield, because he picks out the very, very good passes like that second half, the first 20 minutes. He was doing that a lot. But the decision making and the timing of the runs, and I expected a lot more, because Aston Villa played such a high line. They're going to catch you offside a lot of times. But if you time that run perfectly, you're in a very good position. But I didn't see Saka and Martinelli making many of those runs or poor decisions running offside. And I didn't see our players trying to pick out those passes, apart from Zinchenko in the second half and Gabriel in the first half, where he gave that pass to Martinelli. I expect to see more from Odegaard and Rice in that midfield, putting those passes over their defense, but we didn't really see that. Raymond says we missed a lot of chances. That was the main problem today. Yeah, I hate losing games like that, man. As I said at the beginning, you rather beat us 5-0 than losing like that. That reminds me of the Wolves game a couple of years ago, where Wolves kind of robbed us and we missed a couple of chances and they beat us. It feels like that. You rather beat us like 4 or 5-0, man. Like last season, when Man City beat us at their place, I was devastated that we weren't going to win the title. But I was like, oh, well, they trashed us. It could have been 6 or 7. Haaland could have had like 4 goals. If you beat us like that, fine. Even the Lons one, I didn't really mind it, because Lons played well and they beat us absolutely fine. Newcastle game, it didn't really create a lot. It should have been a 0-0 game that match. But today, missed chances, terrible. So let me make this clear. Missed chances cost us the victory, but the VAR cost us the draw. The VAR did not cost us the victory today. It cost us the draw. But in terms of missing chances, that game should have been 3-1 before even that incident. Why VAR is not favor of us, says Abby. They don't like Arteta. Let me just say that. I've seen a lot of stuff. It's not even a thing of they're against us. No. It's not a thing of I'm just complaining, because I see people saying Arsenal fans cry a lot. No, I mean, Arteta was celebrating a goal and he got a yellow card. I've seen the Zabi Brighton, they score a goal in the last minute, they hold on to a victory, and he's running to the pitch and he's running all over the place. They give him a warning. Miss Tomiyasu and Fabio, definitely miss Tomiyasu. Just feel like crying tonight, but it's a game of football. You lose some and win some. On to the next one. Obviously, it's sad that we've lost the top spot. But now the game becomes big against Liverpool in a couple of weeks. We have to bounce back very quickly. I wouldn't have minded a draw today. We missed a lot of chances, but when it got to the second half, I was like, listen, you draw. They've won 14 games in a row. Their draw is not the end of the world. You get out of there, you're tied on the same points with Liverpool. You're still like 5 points ahead of Man City or something. That is fine. Absolutely fine. You just move on to the next game. But losing, it feels terrible losing when you missed so many chances and then obviously get that bad decision at the end. We shall move on to next week's Stanslers. Judge says there are some games Odegaard can't help us. He was terrible. He's pathetic as a captain. No, I think that is exaggerating. He missed a lot of chances today, but I can't agree. It's so useless. And captain, some people have said Rice should be a captain. I can see why. But in terms of today, yes. Today he missed a lot of chances. He was not quiet. He was not like hiding. There's some games you watch and you like, this player is definitely hiding. He's not supposed to be a captain. He was not hiding. We saw him a lot in that particular game, but he was missing chances. So missing Smith Rowe, yes, obviously. We miss Smith Rowe, we miss Timber, we miss Partey, but can you really depend on Smith Rowe and Partey and those players right now? Because they're always injured, unfortunately, man. So you need to try and buy players in January. When Odegaard doesn't play well, you bring on someone. Because I feel like maybe we depend on Saka and Odegaard too much. Because if Saka and Odegaard are not on that pitch, I feel like we don't do anything. We don't create a chance at all. If both of them are not on that pitch, we are going to be in a bit of a mess. But in terms of Terrible today, I agree with George, but in terms of his useless and not being captain material, I don't agree with that. He's still our best player. Same with Martinelli and all those guys. But today, terrible. I'm not going to stand here and sit here and say Odegaard was great today, Martinelli was great today. No. Really upset, says Sam. For sure. Our players up front are too playful. Today they were, Jamie. They were all of them. Like, and a day where Jesus, Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli are not looking good, that is a bit of a problem. That's why you need players on the bench because, as George said earlier, if you have Smith Rowe to bring off the bench and a couple of others, then that is good. But we don't really have anyone to bring on. So if you bring on Nelson for Saka and then you bring on Trossard for Martinelli, you can't take off Jesus and Odegaard because there's not too much to bring on. You can't bring on El Neni, you can't bring on Jorginho, so that's a problem. The other says the tackle on Jesus by Douglas Luiz was also a clear penalty and a yellow. I saw that as well, but again, as I said, we just need to win our games because they don't like Arteta. If it comes to a decision like that, it's always going to go against us. It's always going to go against us, especially since he talked about the referees like that. They're going to give him another ban, because that was a ban for 3 yellow cards. The one for Newcastle, the comments are still being talked about. So he could get another like 2 or 3 games, like in terms of suspension. So they don't like Arteta, and I've also had opposition fans saying they don't like Arteta because he celebrates too much. Apparently, I don't know why. Because I see De Zerbi and Klopp and all those guys doing that every single day as well. But hey, listen, I guess they really don't want us to win the trophy, so that's the point. Let me do the player ratings. It's not going to be a good one. It's not as high as it usually is. So Arsenal won. Aston won. I wish. You should have had definitely 1 goal today. Aston Villa won. Arsenal nil. Player ratings today. David Raya. I don't think David Raya made any errors. I think he was made 3 or 4 good saves today. Completely looked good today. So I'm happy with that because if he had like 2-3 games, poor games in a row, that would be a mess. Because I saw now fans and other players and all that media talking about him like you can target Raya. I don't think so, man. This is not like the Almunia day. So Raya gets a 7 for today, made very good saves today, so 7 for him. Zinchenko first half, he gives away the ball a lot. He loses concentration a lot. I still don't feel like Zinchenko is a bad player. Maybe he should move to midfield, but decision making sometimes and giving away the ball. The thing with Zinchenko is concentration. I don't know if he feels sometimes like, okay, I'm definitely going to get this pass through and then just give the ball to the opposition. He puts us under pressure like 2 or 3 times every single half, which is bad. So, but second half he improved. He was trying to create things. I think second half he looked good. They dealt well with the counter attacks that they were trying. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 for today. If it was just the first half, could have been like 3 or something. So 6 out of 10 for him. Gabriel as well. I don't think Gabriel was bad. He dealt very well with Watkins and McGinn trying to break forward in terms of counter attacks. So I'm going to give Gabriel a 7 out of 10. He made a lot of clearances as well. 7 out of 10 for Gabriel. Saliba, that the way he gave away that corner, that is not the Saliba we expect. I think Gabriel is slightly better. I'm going to give him a 6 today, Saliba. And this is very low for players like this. We usually don't give these players such ratings at all. It's usually higher than this. Ben White, first half again a bit decision making even with Ben White as well, just like Martinelli and there's 3 players, Martinelli, him, and someone else. In terms of going forward, he got the ball a lot, like in terms of going forward, and then poor cross, so it took too much time to cross the ball. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Declan Rice, not the best. Probably his worst performance in Arsenal shot, although he still got a few interceptions here and then tackles. He didn't really lose the ball or anything like that, but he also got a yellow card. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Kai Havertz, definitely our best player today by far. I should have had like 2 or 3 assists today if Odegaard and Martinelli and Saka wanted to score today. He tackled well in midfield. That is the Havertz I want to see. Be confident in yourself. Get the ball and run with it. He's doing that now. That is what we want to see. And he's doing that a lot recently. I'm happy that at least people are now not talking about Havertz, which is good. He's creating a few chances and there is more confident in the final third. He could have had a goal stroke assist. I don't even think he handled the ball. I'll need to see the replay a lot of times, but obviously they'll try to convince us or they'll give us an apology. Who knows? Havertz, for today, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. The only problem I had with Havertz today was in the first half. when he got the ball and he was running direct at them, and there was Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Jesus in the middle, and he passed the ball to Saka. I mean, I know giving the Saka the ball in that position, you expect Saka and Martinelli to do something there. But you have the chance to just switch to your left foot and shoot the ball. You've scored a few goals recently. Have confidence in yourself. Shoot the ball. You never know. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for today. Odegaard. Oh, he put the first one on target. Yes, he put it on target. But I think it was too obvious for Martinez. The second one, you have to put it on target. He missed too many chances. He wasn't hiding. I don't agree with the commentary that says useless scouting or anything. He was not hiding. He was definitely involved in the game. They were trying to make things happen, but decision making in the final third, poor, very average. I wanted to give him a 4, but I'm just going to give him a 5 because he was trying, but missed chances, you're going to get a 5. And I think that's the lowest I'm going to give any player today. Very average. So 5 out of 10. Saka, he scored a goal, it was on offside, but decision making as well. He was frustrated today. When you see Saka starting to kick the ball and throw his hands, you never really see the likes of Saka and Odegaard getting that frustrated. I'm actually going to give him the same again. Decision making with Saka in the final third was poor today. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Martinelli. Now the difference with Martinelli and Odegaard, Odegaard was getting involved. He was taking the shots and all that. Martinelli was just losing the ball. He was not taking on defenders, and I think that is one of his worst performances. It's bad that on a day where Martinelli had his worst performance in a national shirt, Odegaard as well could not score. He was missing chances that he usually scores, and Saka did not turn up. When all those three players don't turn up, and you're definitely not going to get the W in that game. Martinelli, did he create any chances that I was like, this guy should have scored or that? So I think Odegaard was slightly better than Martinelli because Odegaard was at least getting in the box and taking shots and all that. I think Martinelli maybe created one chance, and that for that run in the first half where he dinked the ball of Martinez and all that. I'm going to give him an average 5. I wanted to give him a 4, but today was one of his worst performances. I was so close to give him a 4 out of 10. He did not impress me at all today. So 5 out of 10 for Saka, Saka and Martinelli. You guys, are you seeing this? Odegaard 5, Saka 5, Martinelli 5, and I'm actually being kind. Yeah, I never give this kind of ratings to these players. That's how you know it was not good in terms of the finishing chances up front and decision making. No good. Gabriel Jesus probably should have had a penalty, like someone said. I'll need to rewatch that back again. Again, decision making with Jesus a bit poor, but I think he was slightly better than Martinelli and slightly better than Odegaard today, Jesus. But it never felt like he was going to score. He was taking a bit of time as well on the ball, and just going to give him a 6 out of 10. Let me know if some of these ratings are too high. From the bench, Trossard, lost the ball again. We brought him on for Martinelli, and he was doing the same thing Martinelli was doing. He was losing the ball. He's not making runs in behind. 5 out of 10. Nketiah. The thing with Nketiah, I don't know if Arsenal fans are ever going to change on this, because I know, like, when there's this feeling of when Nketiah comes on, you don't feel like, oh my God, Nketiah is coming on, we're definitely going to score. It's like hope, like hopefully today he gets something and he does something. It's hope. It's not like, okay, definitely this player will come on. Like, you know, when you have like who was a good example? Like even Nelson last season, at the end of it, when he came on against Bournemouth and against Southampton, he was doing something. We were feeling like, okay, bring on Nelson, he's going to do something. Didn't really feel that with Nketiah and even Trossard, and he came on today. Maybe that is why Arteta just doesn't make those subs, because he feels like, can I really take off Jesus for Nketiah? Will he really give me what I want in terms of the whole hold-up play and creating chances from nothing? I don't think so. So 5 out of 10 as well for him. Nelson wasn't on for too long. I'm not even going to rate Nelson. Arteta, he wasn't involved today. Many people have said maybe we missed Arteta on the touchline, and, you know, going up against Emery and all that. Squad first team, I don't think you can do anything with that. That's the lineup that many of us predicted anyway. Subs, I also can't really blame the subs, because the substitutions, because we don't really have anyone to bring apart from Trossard and Nketiah. And Nketiah came on for Jesus, and I rather would have kept on Jesus on the pitch, to be honest. We missed so many chances. I also don't think that is Arteta's fault. That one you're going to blame on Odegaard, Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka up front. We've lost top spot now. Second defeat of the season in December. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, you want to capitalize. We didn't want to lose. Like on the same week, Man City are losing as well. Now we have to bounce back. Last season, we were doing that a lot. We lost a game and then we bounced back immediately. We bounced back after we lost to Lons. We bounced back by beating Man City. After we lost to Newcastle, we bounced back right away and won the next few games as well. I wanted us to win 5 games in a row. It didn't really happen. So even for I'm just going to give him a 5 out of 10. Not really. So I actually think we played well today. So maybe some of you'd even give him 6. I think we played well today. But forward players' decision-making all over the place. Man of the match is going to be Kai Havertz. I think this is like the second time I'm giving him man of the match. I think Arsenal have given him man of the match like 3 times or something this season. This is the second time I think I'm giving him man of the match. I think he was our best player by far. And I think now when you ask Arsenal fans to give you a lineup for the next game, I think many people would have Havertz in the starting lineup. Maybe some of you'd even say Martinelli on the bench, Trossard starting, or some of you even say Odegaard on the bench for next game, but I think Havertz for me starts. So I was thinking for the PSV game before we played today, I was thinking maybe if there are players, first team players who are going to play in that game, they're going to be like Ben White, Havertz, and players like that. I'm actually thinking, you know what, maybe Havertz is the one who deserves to be rested for that PSV game to start the Brighton game. Maybe that is a game where we are supposed to just play Odegaard and Martinelli and tell them, hey, you played badly the other day. Go out there and get yourself some confidence once again. So I don't know. Bad game to lose. I didn't want to lose that game. I really wanted to send a message. They've been saying that we've beat Man City. We're definitely going to beat Arsenal. I hate hearing that. Hey, they beat us. Should have been 1-1, but they beat us. We missed our chances. They took theirs in the first half. So ultimately, they've beaten Man City and Arsenal in the same week. They are now 1 point behind us. We have to very quickly bounce back. Next week, Brighton, I think, will play on a Sunday. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait like 8 days before we play next. We have to bounce back very quickly. This one will hurt a bit, but let's hope we can move on very quickly. I'm an Arsenal fan, but the bitter fact is the squad in those crown game tactics can win us any league title. All teams have known our strength and how they play. I don't really know. I don't really agree with that, Justin, because we created chances. If we took our chances, that would have been 3-1, and we wouldn't really have been saying this. Is that right? I think it's not like we didn't create any chances or their opposition or threatening us. I'd be very mad like if we didn't create anything at all and Aston Villa had like 10 chances. No, we didn't take our chances. So that's why I don't even have a problem with our defense today. I don't have a problem with Raya. I don't have a problem with players like Havertz. I have a problem with the forward players, the front four for not taking chances and Trossard and Nketiah coming on and not really doing anything at all. That's our problem. So we definitely need to improve our squad in January because we don't have enough players on the bench. If Odegaard doesn't play well, we don't have anyone else to bring on. Fabio Villa and Smith are both out. But this one hurts. We lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. We are now second, I think, 1 point behind Liverpool. Liverpool have Man United next week. They might as well just give them the 3 points now. And second defeat of the season. Liverpool have lost 1. We've conceded now 15 goals. Still have the best defensive record. So it's not the end of the world. 16 games, 2 losses. I know last season really damaged us. You know, like if you drop points around Man City and now Liverpool, those guys, when they are winning the titles, they are losing like 1 game the whole season. So you have to be very... You can't afford to lose. If you're going to lose, get a draw. Like we did against Chelsea. If it's a game that doesn't go your way, get a draw and get out of there. But I don't think we played badly. We need to take our chances next time. Maybe some of you are correct. We probably definitely need a striker. Definitely. I don't know how I have those two in the same sentence. I think we definitely need someone to come and help Jesus in January because we don't get filled with confidence when someone like Nketiah comes on. That is the truth. And I don't think he trusts Nelson that much. It's a weird one because Nelson came on last season a lot and helped us to win get points from games last season. But let's see. We need to bounce back against Brighton because if we get a result against PSV and against Brighton, after that it's Liverpool. If we beat Brighton and Liverpool, we could forget about this one quickly. Let Aston Villa fans enjoying themselves. They've beaten both of those teams back to back. They outplayed Man City, but they definitely did not outplay us. You outplayed them, but ultimately 3 points for them, 0 points for us. Tough one to take. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.